Okay, Lucian Bute and Jean Pascal is set to fight this January, right? In Canada, all right? Two of Canada's biggest stars. They sell out arenas. This is a big, huge mega fight of Canada. You know, two of the most popular boxers out there, all right? Now, Lucian Bute. Let me basically start off is like by saying we know what Jean Pascal's flaws are. His stamina. He has major stamina issues. Okay, he cannot fight a full round aggressively. He can't. He tires out real quick. It's always been that way. But he is a very skilled boxer. He has good hand speed. He has solid power. You know, he has great foot movement. No, let me not say great, because a lot of his fights I feel like he does it, but it doesn't really get him anywhere. You know, I feel like he just tires himself out more when he uses a lot of footwork. You know, his lateral movement really doesn't do anything but make his opponents chase after him. You know, and it tires him out. So I just really never noticed if it gave him any kind of advantage. Now, I can't remember the name of the last guy he fought, all right, but he knocked him out in like the 5th round, right? And in that fight, he really didn't do too much with the feet, you know. He actually stood right in front of this guy, and you know, he basically just landed through a lot of power shots. The fight wasn't really that impressive, but I mean, he did knock him out in the 5th round. But you know, the same usual Jean Pascal. You know, he takes breaks throughout the rounds. Now let's move over to Lucian Bute, because this is the part that's sort of a mystery. We know which Lucian Bute. I mean, we know what Jean Pascal we're gonna get. As far as Lucian Bute, I'm kind of sure of, all right, because he loses to Carl Froch, all right, bad, all right. He gets knocked out. He didn't throw much. It just looked bad in there, all right. And for him to be undefeated and then to go and fight Carl Froch, a lot of people thought Bute was gonna win the fight, and Carl Froch just destroyed him every round. It was just a bad look for Bute, you know. And the thing is, the fight before that, I think he fought Glenn Johnson. You know, he didn't really look that impressive in that fight neither, because they were sparring partners, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't really, I don't think neither one of them gave it their all in that fight, right? And then Bute fights Denis Grachev, which he wins by decision, but a lot of people feel Grachev won the fight. You know, I did see the fight. I didn't see it recently, but I saw the fight, and you know, it really could have went into Grachev's favor. You know, I think he pressured Bute a lot more in that fight, and he actually hurt Bute a couple times and had him against the ropes. Bute is just not the same. You know, before the Glenn Johnson fight, I would have just told you Bute is going to win this fight. I think he's going to outbox him. I think his power and his speed was going to give him the edge over Jean Pascal. But now, you know, even though Jean Pascal lost to Bernard Hopkins, which were both really good fights in my opinion. Pascal knocked Hopkins down twice in the first fight, and he actually hurt Bernard Hopkins a couple times in the second fight as well. So even though he lost that fight, so I feel like Pascal has been more impressive lately. I think Pascal, as far as power is concerned, right now I would say Pascal has the power advantage. I believe Lucian Bute is moving up in weight for this fight. I think his last fight against Grachev was his first time fighting in light heavyweight. I'm not really sure. All right, but I feel like Pascal has the power advantage, and he does have solid speed. See, the thing about Pascal, he doesn't have good stamina, but at the same time, Bernard Hopkins took advantage of that. I'm not sure if Bute will take advantage of that, you know what I'm saying? Because Bute just doesn't throw his hands enough. He's just not aggressive enough. And now that he lost, he hasn't proven. He fights a lot more afraid than he was before, you know? Before the loss against Carl Froch, it seems like he's just afraid to throw, you know? And he's never really was the most active fighter. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He likes to set traps. He has a nice uppercut. He's a good counter puncher. But it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. It's really hard for me to trust him in this fight. Like I told you, if it was any other time, I think Lucian Bute would edge Pascal and take advantage of Pascal's breaks that he takes. Sometimes he'll fight 1 minute out of the 3 minutes, but at the same time, he'll go a few rounds of inactivity. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen in the Bernard Hopkins fight, Bernard Hopkins was very aggressive in those two fights. That's part of the reason why he got hurt often in those fights with Pascal, because he's usually a defensive fighter. And he usually fights off the clinch and while being tangled up. But those fights, it was a different kind of Bernard Hopkins, and he just pressured Pascal, while Pascal was just trying to back up, stay away, and take breaks. And fight in bursts. So I'm gonna give the win. I think I'm going with Pascal in this fight, being that I don't really trust Bute anymore. I think he's not the same fighter. All right, I mean, if he is the same fighter, he has to prove it in this fight. He has to, because this is a big fight, and I think we're gonna see the best of the two fighters. Or I think we're gonna see Pascal, because I think the best of Pascal was against Bernard Hopkins and Chad Dawson. But as far as Bute, I think he's gonna come the best shape that he can at this age in his career, and I just don't think it's gonna be enough. As far as how he's gonna lose, I think Pascal is definitely capable of stopping him, depending on his stamina again. You know, it's hard to really trust either one of these guys, because this guy, he gets so tired. I think the guy he beat the last fight, he probably could have ended him in the first round, you know, but his stamina issues, he gets tired so fast. So I'm thinking Pascal is gonna stop him maybe in a later round, you know, after the 8th, 9th round, probably after maybe 10th, 11th round. But he's definitely gonna win the fight. I think it's gonna be by decision. I just don't think Bute is gonna be active enough, and I don't think you know, I think he does have power. He does have knockout power, and he does have hand speed, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough to beat Jean Pascal in this fight. All right, so let me know what you guys think on the fight, and make sure you follow my Twitter page at wavy_10. If you want to discuss the fight on there, you could do it on there as well, and subscribe to the channel. All right, thanks for viewing.